Hi, friend. How are you?
What's up?
It is hot.
It's not too. I mean, it's bad, but I feel like at least it's not as bad as it has been. We've got some rain where I'm at.
Well, the problem over here is that I just got back from taking the kids to a movie, so the air conditioning was turned off in my place. And if you have the air conditioning on before it gets hot, the house can get cool and stay relatively cool. But if you turn it off and let the house heat up on the inside, it's hard for the air conditioning to like get the temperature back down. So it's hot in this place, and so
Uh,
or maybe I'm just
that's fair.
whiny. Probably.
I mean, it could be that. It
I'm
could be that. Just kidding. How have you been?
good. I've
I
I think I told you I got my kids this week. For the the week that I take them, and what sucks is like tomorrow I have to take them back to their mom. This week is blown by really fast, and as happens every time, I'm kind of sad because it felt like it was lasting forever, and
Yeah.
now suddenly it's like it's done. Tomorrow afternoon, evening, sometime I got to take them back home to their mom, and I'm like, I don't want to.
Aw. Yeah. That's too bad.
But there's not much I can do about it. So
That joint custody life.
yeah, and again, their mom's really good about everything, and so it's not like that. It's just that I get them for a week, and it makes me forget like how much of them that I'm missing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that makes
You
sense.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I miss my boys.
Aw. Well, what fun things did you guys do while you had them?
Not a lot of crazy stuff. I took them to this like bounce house thing yesterday, but it was really hot inside there too. So
Yeah.
they went and jumped around for a good stretch, but they came back after a half hour, 45 minutes, just drenched in sweat, just like dying. So we didn't stay too
Well,
long.
I was gonna say that's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that they got their asses up and out of the house. And then we've watched some movies together, and we've just kind of hung out and just not really done a whole lot, but just been together.
Yeah. You know what? That's what's important.
Uh,
Doing the stuff together stuff.
yeah, and like I said, we just got back from a movie. We went and saw the new Twister movie.
Oh yeah, you said you were gonna do that.
Yeah, because I really like that first one from years and years ago. I think I like the first one better. This one was pretty good. It had like no connection to the original at all. Like not even like a cameo of any of the other people. Um, but that aside, it was pretty entertaining. But I just think the first one was better. Yeah. There's a Kate Myers asking, "What are you drawing today?"
Well, so I'm drawing a triceratops, but gosh, I really, really misjudged the size of my paper.
Uh oh.
I'm, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to either erase it or just restart on a new one. Or I'm thinking about just coming up with some other way of making it work. So we'll see. But it's just the skull because I can't draw anything alive. But the challenge for this week was I don't know if you saw that or not. Somebody put in Discord to do dinosaurs, and I am horrible at drawing dinosaurs. So we'll see how this goes. But you might call me Rob Liefeld of drawing dinosaurs. I just suck at it. It's like I try to draw a dinosaur and it looks like a horse instead of drawing a horse and it looks like a dinosaur.
Oh, yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Prince Without a Kingdom says that new Twister looks lame. Why do they remake old films endlessly? Like, do something that's new, that's cool. Well, it's not a remake; it's a direct sequel. But it's and it's how many tornado movies are there? You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with that. It was certainly fine. It was not a bad movie. It wasn't a waste of money, but I wouldn't don't know that I'd be in a hurry to. I'd watch it again, but I'm not going to go back and pay again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Like when it came out streamed or on streaming.
You know what's crazy? For just me and my two boys, tickets and then popcorn and Slurpees and some candies and shit. It came to just a hair under $100 total.
What the? Where are you going, boy? To watch your movies?
Just the Cinemark Theater around the corner here. It was the showing in the nicer theater, and I got the tickets online, but that only added like $6 to the price. But it was like $14 for me and my oldest boy, and like 10 or 12 for my youngest, and then freaking popcorn's like $15, and it's
so. I got a Fat Cats around the corner from me.
Right.
Fat Cats says $5 Tuesdays, any movie, $5, and every theater is luxury seating. The entire theater, $5. Everybody. That is the way to go. However, it's still pricey out the ass at the concessions.
Yes, of course.
You'd still pay the same, but you'd save on the tickets. So that's where my cheap broke ass goes.
Yeah,
I would do things on Tuesdays.
I wouldn't normally want to do all that, but it's a special thing with my kids to go do this, and so like I'll splurge on this time. It's fine, and it's fun to go to movies with them. We've gone to seven. Yeah, like we went and saw that new Godzilla King Kong movie like twice. Back when it came out, so it's fun. But this one was just, goddamn, $100.
Yeah, that is much more than I personally would have guessed.
Yeah,
you're a better father than I am a mother, apparently. Like, we're waiting until this comes out. We did watch okay, you'll be proud of me. For our family movie, we watched If, which has yeah, Ryan Reynolds in it.
What the hell is that movie about?
It is the movie, and if anyone wants to correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was him that said he wants to make movies his kids can watch. So it's If, Imaginary Friend is what If stands for.
Oh, okay. I do remember. Okay, yes. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. So we watched that, and it was fairly entertaining. It was pretty good. We didn't go to the movie theater.
Yeah. It did blow you away, though?
It didn't blow me away, no, but I don't think it was supposed to. It was what it was supposed to be. It had a cute ending. It had a fun, like a fun little adventure the kids could follow along with. All my kids were entertained from ages 2, almost 3, all the way up to 11. So
Right.
I think it served its purpose. My husband fell asleep, but
Well, I now that you mention it, like I'm like, okay, I do remember seeing the trailer for it. I didn't even know it even come out anywhere.
it had been in theaters for a while, and then I believe it was just I watched it on Paramount Plus.
Oh, I've
Uh,
got that, yeah.
so I that's where they had it streaming once it came out on to stream. So
It must have tanked hard because I didn't hear anything about it. And, you know,
I could see it not being one that did well in theaters, truthfully. Although a lot of my mom and dad friends uploaded, it seemed like every story there for a while of them taking their kids to it because I had kind of forgotten about it.
yeah, you hear that latest Pixar movie that Inside Out 2 is doing like crazy good business, which I think
Well,
is
I'm
nice
sure.
to see a movie being successful and Pixar finally get going back to you know top form with making a thing that is good.
Yeah, that's
So
what I've heard. Oh, there is Gayton. Hi everyone, sorry Rob, I'm here, so I doubt you'll get the viewership you got last time.
yeah,
LOL.
he was saying he thinks his presence makes things dip off.
Oh no, I'm sure that's not true.
I don't know. It's probably not, but I kind of want to make him feel bad about it. So we're gonna leave.
Oh my gosh, you're a horrible person.
I know.
Yeah, I want to see the new Inside Out. We watched the original not even that long ago, my kids and I, and they've always liked it.
Yeah, it's. But yeah, I told you right that Ms. Bobby came over the other day and we recorded a couple of videos for the channel.
Oh yeah, and I saw that you uploaded them. I just haven't watched them yet, but I wanted to.
Yeah, and one where we just kind of go over her art. She just brought some stuff, and she's all like, "All my stuff sucks." I'm like, "Shut up! It does not. Just
Dude, if her stuff sucks. None of us have a chance.
she's got that thing where, like a lot of people, where she just can't dedicate a fraction of the time that she would like to. You
Yeah.
know, I think she said something to the effect of kind of like how you've said. Oftentimes, the only time you really get to draw is when we're doing this.
Mm-hmm.
She said something to the effect of like, oftentimes when the comic convention comes up and she comes and sits with me, that's one of the times where she gets to actually like have time dedicated to do a thing. So,
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. I know she appears. I I don't know her too well, but she appears to have quite a bit going on.
yeah. She
It's
actually
like,
she talked about how she's kind of like her kids are all old now and don't need mommy. So
oh
part of the reason
really?
she came over is that she said that her job is kind of easy. So she comes home, cleans up after everyone else in the house because no one else will do it. And then she kind of
Mm-hmm.
sits around, hangs out, and then goes to bed and just starts over. She's like, I'm bored. I need something to do. I'm like, well, yeah. And she's like, yeah, I know, I should, but well, I'm like,
I wish that was a
right.
problem.
I'm like, just come over and hang out with me, and we'll make some silly content for the channel. It'll be fun. And she's like, all right.
There you
We made
go.
it happen.
That's good. I'm glad. It's been a hot minute since I've seen her.
Mark, I'm gonna try and get her to do a, a live stream with me, kind of like we're doing with Jess here. It's just kind of a matter of catching her in the right kind of creative mood, you know. And she goes to bed super early because she has to be at work by 5, so it's an hour long drive. So she gets up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to like get ready because she's like a girl and shit, and then so she leaves by 4 to get to work by 5 in the morning. So she's in bed by 7 o'clock in the evening every day.
Damn. Yeah, that
So
is.
fucking early for me.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm like, why do you go to bed? So why do you get up so early? She's like, I'm a girl, Rob. I'm like, oh, right. I hadn't noticed, but right.
I'm also a girl, and I just come looking like a hag. I would. I'm not kidding. I just.
You're like, fuck them.
True story. I'm not even wearing a bra right now. Like, this is my life
I mean,
these days. I just.
depending on who you tell that, that's not like a bad thing. We're like, oh, that's we're all friends.
It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing. Uh, now I didn't know she drove an hour to work. I guess that makes sense though.
Well, she works in Salt Lake, and she lives up here right by me in Syracuse. So
Yeah. I think you were saying you guys don't work at the same store anymore, and I always think you do.
nope. I wish that'd be fun. D-Man says, Rob, that's sexist. It's not sexist for me to be like, hey, ladies, if you're not wearing a thing, it's totally fine. We're all fine with it. We're fine with it.
I think he meant. No, maybe not. Maybe he didn't mean that.
Oh, I don't know. I was just.
Yeah, I know. Free the boob. Be perfectly fine if society just let us not wear bras anymore and it'd be socially acceptable.
It's just, it might go noticed by some people.
It's a lot.
Eh.
But fair enough. My son might be coming with me to Comic-Con, by the way.
Oh, really? Which one?
Mitch, my oldest.
Yeah. You just wants
Yeah.
to come see all the cool shit?
Plays his cards right, he can go. If he doesn't, he gets in trouble. Then he won't be going. But I'd have to pull him out of school, so there's that aspect of it.
Oh, yeah. So you're just going to Thursday, right?
Friday.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's okay to pull them out of school for bonding cultural events. But then you have to tell them work you're supposed to get done that day still has to be done, kid. So, there's a trade off.
Have homework. They have an hour during the day that they do homework at school, unless it gets filled with other things, and then they bring the homework home. But it doesn't really happen very often.
Right.
I love it. Truthfully, it's nice.
D-Man, I don't remember. I've seen a lot of comments. Which one are you talking about? Remember, I get dozens a day, so I can't. I used to respond to every comment that it was made back when I was a real nobody, but now I'm just like kind of a nobody. But I can't keep up anymore. I used to respond to everything. Now I get something like 500 comments a month.
Well, aren't you special?
La de freaking da, Rob.
Aren't
So
you just pin a rose on your nose?
somebody would make me feel special. Oh yeah, D man, I did see something about that. I have no idea what you're talking about though. I believe you.
The one about Star Trek Voyager. What they say.
I I, I remember somebody mentioning someone that was in something was in another thing, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. So I mean, I know what Voyager is, but
Yeah, that's fair.
I got nothing. I did a count on my pages on my live stream the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and that one page I did where the girl's floating in the water,
Mm-hmm.
that page with all the other pages that I've drawn and the ones that are in process of being inked by Chuck. Um, at that time, that page with the girl in the water was the most recent one. 139 pages is what the size of this book.
Whoa.
And the last one was only like the actual art and story portion of it was like 120. I still have like 15 pages to go. So
Wow.
big.
That is impressive.
Oh, D man, I know what you're talking about, Kevin. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know that. I wasn't making that link. The guy who plays Tom Paris, the helmsman of the Voyager, was the dork in that Masters of the Universe movie. I knew that. In fact, there was one of the villains, the Blade guy. He was a villain in Voyager too, and I think there was more than one too, or more than just the two. So yeah, I remember. Now that you mentioned that, I didn't know who Kevin was because the human character in the stupid He-Man like the least interesting one. You want to watch He-Man cutting up bad guys, not like humans from Earth running around talking about the chicken restaurant or some shit like that.
What?
Yeah, there's a reason that old live action He-Man movie is a god awful pile of shit. Which me and my brother did do a commentary on. I just haven't bothered to like listen to it, try to upload it, and I actually do that soon because it's just been sitting on my phone for about a month.
Wow. Yeah, that would be interesting to watch.
Listen to our dumbasses talk about Masters of the Universe.
Somebody is at my door. I can hear my baby crying.
Well, if you need to step away or pause or whatever.
Thanks. Hopefully they can get it taken care of. It has been quite interesting trying to do anything with her. She is not like my other kids.
She a little feisty pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's mom all the time. Not dad, mom. There's Chuck.
We all know a Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
You are not wrong, Chuck. In fact, for anyone's watching, Chuck says the best part of the Masters of the Universe movie Bruce Struzan poster. Look, I got a black and white printout of it right up on my wall to look at all times. Not because I love that movie, but because that guy's artwork is so damn good, so unbelievably good. So yeah, good call on that.
Chuck knows a thing or two.
Yeah, he does. Whew. What's clacking around in the background?
Oh, sorry. That's my dryer.
Oh, no, you're fine. It doesn't bother me. I'm just like,
I actually have no clue why it's doing that. That's not a good noise. I
no,
feel like there's toys in there.
right?
So it just started doing that though. So we'll see how we go.
I'm facing the possibility, we'll see, of having to get a furnace because Tuesday when Bobby came over, like 2 minutes before she showed up, my roommate's like, I think I could smell gas back in the back end of the house where her room is. So we go back
Oh,
there. Before it's been the water heater, but so I called up, the gas company, and they had somebody come out and test it. Like, no, there's no leak coming from your water heater. So he checked the furnace. He's like, oh, here it is. He's like, there's this thermal coupling or some kind of part of it. He's like, it's leaking. It won't blow up. That's not how it works. Movies lie to you, but it is leaking. So I've got somebody coming out next Thursday. But I suppose there's always the chance because the furnace is as old as this house. It's like 40 years old. So I'm worried they're going to be like, we can't fix this.
oh no.
So, but I'm going with like a local small place rather than like Home Depot because they get commission on selling the whole package. Like, hey, we'll get you a furnace and a new AC, and
Wow, that seems like a real trader like thing to do.
it is. It should be, but I'm not gonna, pay $9,000 if it's a $50 part that just can be swapped out. I could get a couple more years out of this ancient machine. But for half
I'm
a
just
second,
teasing you.
no, you're not wrong though. I told the guy, I'm like, I'll just go through Home Depot, and he's like, I would go through a local place. It is okay just to like repair it rather than push, a big sale on you. I'm like, I don't have a problem telling somebody, no, I'm not losing any sleep. We're being pressured to no damn thing. But
Yeah.
I'll just make it easy. So, but we had to evacuate the house. So Bobby shows up, and like 2 minutes before that, I'm like, oh shit, we can smell gas. So I get the gas company. They're like, well, we're sending somebody out. He'll be there within an hour. You have to evacuate the home. So we're all outside in our cars.
I've had to do this before too.
Yeah. And my kids are like freaking out because I'm explaining to them what's going on. They're like, is the house going to explode? I'm like, yes, it might. And we might all
Do you
die.
think that secretly they kind of wanted to see an explosion?
They were actually really worried. They were actually scared that the thing was going to blow up.
Aw.
I had to like, unfortunately, once we got to go back inside, the guy who does the gas, he's like, look, it's reading that he's got this little sniffing device that can read the gas level. He's like, it's reading between 6,000 and 8,000 parts per million. He says it have to be at 50,000 to even be possible for it to ignite. He's like, I've been doing this for 30 years and never once ever has ever happened. So like it's not impossible, but it's not going to happen. So, and he said that to my boys and kind of put them at ease. You're like, your house is not going to blow up. So we
Aw.
shut the gas off to the furnace. It's fine.
Well, that was nice of him to do all that.
Chuck, you say you have a Struzen book with that in it. We'll have to flip through it one of these Sundays. I want a Drew Struzen book so bad because that guy's artwork is just so epic. How's your dinosaur coming along?
Oh, he's coming along.
He's coming along.
He's, yeah, doing his dino thing.
Is it so? It's a Triceratops.
Yeah.
What is Sarah? Is that the character's name from Land Before Time?
What is it?
What was the name of the character from Land Before Time? Was it Sarah? Like
Yeah.
Sarah?
Sarah, that's not funny.
I've actually maybe seen half of that movie. I've never actually watched it all the way through.
What?
Uh,
What? That is such a childhood classic for me.
I know it is for everybody. But
Yeah. Littlefoot. His mom
I was gonna
dies.
say, didn't his mom die right there on a big old precipice, staring him in the face?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she stares him in the face as she dies, but she just kind of like sighs and then.
She sighed. then like releases her bowels. That's how.
I think
That's how.
she said something to him.
Uh,
He's got to go find the, Great Valley.
right.
Anyway, it's a classic. You've got what's his name? What is the Rex's name? What is his name? Why is it? Oh my gosh. He's super scary. They're running from him. I forget what his name is. Chomper or something like that. I don't know. Anyway,
Somebody in the chat will mention it.
you know. Uh Chad, yeah, Triceratops. Yeah. Jess must have read about the $44 million Stegosaurus sale that happened this week. I didn't read about that. However, that is interesting. I've always wanted to find a dinosaur. I live in the right state for it, but I'll never get that lucky. Find a dinosaur bones and then sell it. Patrick, I thought she was drawing a cave. Well, this kind of looks like a cave. The old septum area here. But yeah, I'll never find a dinosaur. I also don't go out in there and dig, which is probably part of the problem.
Maybe it's in that bucket in the overhead in your garage. Maybe there's dinosaur bones.
Yeah, I wouldn't get that lucky. That would be.
You're like, oh, guess what? We just hit the lottery. Yeah, hey
Um,
landlords, I don't know. I don't know what happened to your dinosaur bone collection.
that is. Wait, what? That is so weird. Yeah, we didn't see anybody take off with it.
We'll let you know though.
Crazy. Yeah, crazy town.
Like that being said, we're moving out. We won the lottery.
Don't bother looking up who won the lottery.
Yeah,
It won't have our names on it. We want to remain, nameless.
Right.
Anonymous, if you will. That's the word I'm looking for. They made Mr. Demas says they made those guys up for the movie. They could only afford to make Skeletor, Evelyn, and Beastman.
Yeah, they're talking about in that Masters of the Universe movie. One of the biggest frustrations was that there was like none or very few of the original creations in terms of the villains. They just made up some new bullshit unheard of, probably because of special effects limitations. And so it's kind of
That's fair. I could see where that would be annoying. I can't read. Chuck says they didn't have to find this one. They just bought it at Sotheby's auction. Oh, all right. All right. Well, there you go.
You see Mark Domowitz's, wasn't that unboxing supposed to be a 1000K celebration thing?
Yes, I know. It's out there. I should take a picture of my garage so you guys can see what it's like getting to my shelves. I always think I'll go out there, just grab the ladder and go up there. No joke, my husband has taken off tomorrow so we can clean out that garage because we have couches out there that I need to sell. But it is such a hoarder's nest out there. It's embarrassing. But yes, one of these days I told Rob I'll get out there and I'll just message him and be like, "Hey, do you have a second?" And it'll be a surprise video, a
Surprise
surprise
like
live.
that.
And now
And
I
then
feel like it's hyped up so
it'll stay on the channel, and even if people can't make the live, we'll just have it up there as a video for later. And because
yeah,
I'm at 5,000 subs now.
I know.
That was crazy.
Look at you go.
No. I honestly think part of it was because I titled the video like drawing undressed ladies, and that seemed to attract attention. I'm like, oh, there's the trick. There's the magic key phrase.
Mm-hmm. Naked ladies help out things.
Right.
Although I will say this, I think that page was very well done. All
Okay.
jokes aside.
Yeah, I was having a good time with it. Like I was saying, I used a reference from Danielle on that, and it's really interesting how much just having, even though I'm not drawing that exact figure, just being able to see a real human figure and then kind of extrapolate from it and interpret, the drawing comes out better than I would have done just from my mind, even though it doesn't look exactly like the reference. I'm like, oh, this is so useful.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
So,
But you know what's interesting is I can usually tell the ones that you've used, Danielle, as a reference.
yeah.
Maybe it's because I've seen the reference pictures. I don't know, but I'll look at it and can see like some of her facial features and her like some of her just body structure that
Yeah.
I've can recognize.
And yeah, Chuck, that page you're working on, both of those images, I used reference for um, the part where she's sitting on the bed and then the big close up of the face that you've done. Though, no, I should point out that even though I drew her resting on the bed and she was topless, no, the reference girl was not topless in the picture that I took. It was not like that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I don't know anybody with the balls to be naked around me and let me take pictures of them. So,
He draws differently when he's using a photo of her. The hair is curlier. Yeah, because she's got kind of a little bit of a curl to her hair, real life, right?
a little bit
Daniel.
wavy.
Yeah.
But also
Uh,
in that, she had just been through hell, like smashed around and exploded and vaporized. So I wanted her hair to look, because normally her hair's like really long and straight, but I was trying to give it a little bit more of a ragged look, a little bit.
yeah, that makes sense. Fair enough. No, it looks good. I like it. Not that my opinion has to mean anything,
It
but
does mean.
I shall allow it to be put within the book.
Oh, Chuck's like, yeah. He's like, I picked up on her hair looking fried. Yeah, that was an intentional thing on my part. So I'm glad that it translated over. She just needed to look at her worst because she's emotionally at her worst as well as like physically.
Yeah. Interesting.
Whew.
Hmm. Anything else interesting going on with you?
Um, Not really. Just, it's the same old shit. Just vacation. Um, Working on the book. Looking forward to the convention coming up soon. But outside of the insanity going on in the world, everything's kind of the same for me.
Yeah, kind of same for me too.
Uh,
Don't really have. Look, I've been not so interesting. Just been busy, truthfully. Going to um uh native Native American market days this week.
Oh, what's that?
uh,
What's that
at
about?
Thanksgiving Point. It's basically it's just celebration Native American culture. Um, they'll have like booths there with Native American art and artists, which is kind of what I'm going for mostly. Is I kind of want to see that. I thought maybe I'd even take some pictures for the Discord, but kind of just a neat thing that they do. You pay to get in, and then the funds go to education and arts in um, for indigenous I can't even speak right now. Indigenous tribes.
That's
So
awesome.
that's kind of
Yeah.
yeah. I'm really excited about it.
Like a whole family trip?
What?
A whole family trip, like you, kids, husband, everything like that?
Oh yeah, like I'm going, and then my sister Kate and her boyfriend are gonna go, which is pretty neat because he's half Sioux, so kind of learning more about his ancestors and family and stuff will be pretty cool.
Yeah. Hey, Chad asking what convention I'm going to. It's just the local one. I don't travel out of state for these things. I don't make enough money on this shit to be able to like afford to travel and have housing and or hotel or some shit and make all that back. I ain't that cool. So it's just this local one here in Utah, which is pretty big. It's a pretty sizable thing. And so it's just a local thing. I've been going every year ever since it started, outside of putting it on pause when I was getting divorced. But so I'm just prepping this book for that thing. I do have people. There's a couple of people that come to my booth every year looking for the next volume of this goddamn book, and I don't want to be like, it's 1 week away still. Sorry guys, I worked all this time and I couldn't get it done. So
Look at you.
I'm trying to not disappoint.
Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah, and you'll be there at one Friday, so that'll be fun. And Ms. Courtney's
Hmm.
there, and of course Bobby's going to be there. So
Yeah,
I'm going to be meeting all the fine honeys.
please don't say it like that. Ugh. I'm just kidding.
You're like, Rob, don't make me barf.
Oh my gosh, just that terminology. Oh.
All, all the fine honeys. You're like,
All the fine honeys.
all right, give me a phrase that I can use that doesn't make you barf.
I don't know. You know what? Just go with it, I guess.
You're like, I don't fucking know. But I am for real looking forward to seeing you and Ms. Courtney.
Yeah. Same.
Chuck's. I like Chuck's suggestion there. All the primo gash. That, oh, that's not insulting at all. Which is why I like it.
Like, which is why it's my new term.
I'm gonna make up T-shirts and I'm gonna sell them.
Mm-hmm.
My boy Chuck Gibson says. He's like, wait. Just because I suggested it doesn't mean you
Like,
shout my.
don't put my name on those t-shirts.
Like,
Leave my name
like,
firmly off.
like I'm trying to help you come up with some fucked up shit.
Oh boy.
Patrick Pierce says, "Does anyone remember the movie Lady and the Tramp?" No, no one remembers a classic.
Only the spaghetti scene.
Right, that's the one.
That's the only
The,
one I remember.
the Italian guys singing the two dogs a serenade as they like have a little romantic dog date.
Yeah. Just cute. That's how I thought all my dates would be growing up. I was sorely mistaken.
You thought a bunch of Italian dudes would sing you while you ate spaghetti with some dude, and you have like a spaghetti kiss.
Yeah, maybe. I was a kid.
I mean, why
Rhino
not?
dates for lunch.
Sounds totally
Yeah.
reasonable. And honestly, today that sounds kind of fucking awesome.
Right? Like, honestly, I still am a little bit angry that it didn't go that way.
All right, so for real,
Oh.
I'm going to privately message your husband, and I'm going to tell him, bro, here's what you need to do. Turn on some Italian singers and get some spaghetti and look Jessica in the eye and just be like, wink, wink, and then seal the deal from there.
Yeah, just like one piece of spaghetti on the plate. That way we are sure to get the right one.
Right? No fooling around.
Oh,
I'm
man.
just trying to help out you both. I try to fulfill a ancient childhood dream, and maybe he gets lucky.
Ancient? I'm not that old.
What?
I said ancient. I'm not that old.
All right. So,
Shit, Rob.
like,
Was
damn.
something cute and then you called me old.
I know, right? I know. I crossed the line.
That's fair. Mr. D-Man says the ghetto version is called Lizardy in the Trizamp.
Lizady and the Trizamp. Oh, he says the song has to be That's Amore. That's Amore.
Oh, it's true. It does.
See? I hope he's listening. You said he listens in on occasion. It would be actually really awesome if he was and kind of heard this and then, like, on the down low, like, really does that. It would be funny just in, like, general, like a good laugh.
I'll have to let you know if that ever comes to fruition.
You're like, yeah, I'll let you know. Hold your breath on
Yeah.
that one.
I don't have a ton of faith that will happen, but keep everybody
Lizady,
informed.
Lizady and Trizamp. I love the name of that. We got to come up with like a ghetto poster for like the ghetto Disney version.
Oh my gosh, right now. I don't know what to say. That's funny. It's more. I got it in my head.
Right now it's there and it's not gonna leave.
That's how it always goes.
Oh. I can't really see again. Dinosaur coming along all right? I know I've already asked that once, but I'm just doing another check-in.
That's coming on. Okay, I suppose. Chuck says, I get ideas like that all the time. They're good, but I'll get sued.
Okay. I'll get sued. Mohammed Bun,
Brian,
how's it going?
that's what I was.
Saying ghetto. Hey, D-Man brought it up, and D-Man can say it. He's allowed. He's given me permission.
That's true.
D-Man's over. Wait, I didn't give you no permission for no damn thing, Rob. So you just, back.
Christine was like, who is Rob?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
He's like, what's he saying I'm giving him permission for?
Uh,
Oh, my child is crying
oh,
again. I think my 11-year-old son is taking care of her because my husband has a test at 6. So I'm sure she's just, what the
freaking
heck?
out. How old is she now? 9?
7
7
months.
months. You're like, Rob, the math is easy. She was born in December. So all you have to do is know what month it is.
Yeah. December to now, you count the months. I'm just kidding. Muhammad says, "How are you, Mr. Robert? I am allowed to say I missed you guys." Aw. Or am I allowed to say it? Jeez, I can't read.
Says, am I allowed? But I would say absolutely. I mean, why not? What am I going to be like? No, you can't say that. We don't allow people in here that miss us. That's not how this works.
Rob prefers the people who are like angry with him because he says negative things about Rob Liefeld's art.
Yeah, right. That's who I want around.
Chad wants to know, what's this Florida man story? I don't know. I think those are hilarious, though. If you Google Florida man and your date of birth, it is hilarious to see what comes up.
Like, what kind of screwed up thing has happened in Florida on that date?
Yeah, it may not be on your like actual birth date when you were like the year,
Sure.
but you do like your day and the month, and it is hilarious.
I think you've mentioned that before. I need to try that and see what kind of weird shit comes up.
I think it's great. I have to grab my kid here and put her on my back.
I get it. You gotta.
Give me like 5. I'll be right back.
All right, somebody start a timer, and if she's not back, we ban her. No, she screams. How's it going, Grant? And anybody else who stopped in that I've missed because I'm balls deep in inking this thing. Balls deep. It does sound like a very pissed off child. I do miss having babies, but I don't miss that part of it. If I can be real with you.
Okay, I'm back.
You got your baby.
She's on my back, yes.
Is
My
she?
husband was not doing his test,
Oh.
but he is playing guitar and cannot hear what's happening.
Oh.
I was like, just give her to me.
Is she instantly okay now that she's on your back? It's like, oh, I'm fine.
Yep, and that's always how it is. She's just.
She's like, I've disrupted everybody's time now, and mom.
Yep, exactly. She's trying to figure out who that is talking right now. She's like, what is going on here? Who is that?
Hi, little baby.
See, okay, let's see if I can get this right. Chad says the baby phase is easiest in my opinion. Kids get more difficult as they get older. I actually kind of agree with that. I think the toddler stage is the hardest, but I'm also getting to the teenage stage with my eldest, and I wish she was little again. She is. Love her to death, but my word.
But Lord help me, I'm a killer.
It is a lot.
See, my kids were both kind of good boys as babies. The first one especially so. He was an angel.
Mm-hmm. I could see
But
that.
but they're also good as little kids too. So I haven't really had a moment where I'm like, fuck this shit. But maybe they're just backlogging that pain in the ass for when they're teen.
Come back to, you're like, come back to me when they're get hit those teen years, and we'll discuss.
Yeah, when they're like 16, let's talk.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, again, my 2-year-old now, he's cute, but man, he is he's very spoiled, to be fair. Not by me, but
By daddy.
huh?
By daddy.
By dad, yeah. He's just super spoiled by dad. And I hate this world as I did. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it and try to fix it, or guess why not. But yeah, with yeah, it's just yeah, it's he is something else. Oh, what's
Oh,
wrong? What's wrong? Don't be angry. Just saying you're fine now. Don't me speaking for you? Is that what's happening here? What are your
oh,
kids up to now?
squeaky sound of babies. It's so cute. What's that?
I was asking what your kids are up to now.
They're in the living room. Probably I'm sure my oldest is staring at his phone, watching whatever the hell he watches, and then my youngest is got this obnoxious shit on the TV that he watches. And just kind of doing their thing. I'm like, oh, all right, kids.
Yeah.
In fact, I was trying to explain to him earlier. I said, I hope you guys know that I'm not like in there doing my artwork all the time, trying to ignore you because I'm trying to ignore you. It's like, Daddy's working on this thing, and my oldest boy's like, I know, it's kind of like a job for you. I'm like, kind of. I just don't want you to think that I'm ignoring you. I feel really bad about it. He's like, no, we're fine, but that doesn't like alleviate all the guilt that I feel. But
Well, the fact that you're talking to them, though, that's good. Like, just talking to them about it and making sure they're okay. And
yeah,
I'm sure that probably goes a lot further than you realize. Mohammed, yes, his hernia's doing fine. He had hernia surgery. I'm assuming that's what you're talking
forgot
about.
about that.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good. Although he's not sure they fixed it because he was doing something the other day and he's like, "This feels like my hernia pain. Did I go through all that and it's not even fixed?" So we'll see. But
Chuck saying my kids are probably like, geez, Dad, leave us alone. Can we like just let us do our kid shit, Dad? That's fair.
sometimes how my older kids are, they just want to do their own thing and they
Yeah.
just don't want me to bother them.
Well, the part of me that's thinking about it is the part that's like, I know that even as a kid, I probably would have been like, no, mom and dad, go away. But it's about how it affects how they feel about me indirectly when the future comes along. And they're like, Daddy just spent all his time back in his art room. He didn't fucking care about us. It's like you have to force the interactions on them to let their brains just subtly understand that you're there,
Yeah,
just that your presence is there means a lot. So
I get what you're saying. I do. And that's a good point. I do think that is true. We make our kids do certain family things. I don't know that they necessarily want to do, but I hope that somewhere down the line they are happy when they
yes,
look back.
exactly. Like I remember shit that my dad forced me to do, and when I was younger, that I did like work related stuff. Like Come on, we were so poor. We actually went up into the mountains with a chainsaw and a truck and cut down trees for firewood.
Oh
And
wow.
because it's the only way we could heat our house. We couldn't afford to go buy firewood or any shit like that. That's how our house was heated. Like mountain men
Wow.
with chainsaws in a truck, chopping trees down into pieces. So at the time, I fucking hated it. And now there's a part of me that's like, I would give anything to be with my dad and my brother in a truck up in the woods, chopping down trees with a chainsaw. Like, I would go back to it. Like, I realize as an older guy how much you learn from doing that and the character building and the adventure
Right.
as opposed to sitting inside watching videos about Minecraft on their phone.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
afraid I'm raising a couple of little pansy asses, you know?
Oh my gosh. Here's the thing though. You just said that you felt that way. You didn't want to be up there doing all that at the time, right?
Right.
Maybe you did. I don't know. It's probably just the same. Like it's just maybe the situation is different, but they'll probably look back and say, "Oh, I wish I did this. I wish I did that." But it's probably the same
But it's more
in the
about
sense that,
the character building aspect of making the kids get out and do something uncomfortable as opposed to just let them sit in the living room and watch YouTube.
hey, get them down here and we'll go to the skate park. That's what my kids
Let's
been
do it.
into lately. I'm serious. I got an extra board.
No, I'm 100%. I don't know that either. My youngest would be interested in trying to skate. I don't know that he'd do very well, but like he would try. You know those little what are they? Those hoverboards with those little automatic motorized little two-wheel things. Like
Kind of, yeah.
like 2 years ago, my youngest, we went over to a family function. Somebody else was there and had one. He got on it, and after just a few seconds of instruction, was riding it by himself. I could not
And
believe,
I'm
like,
sure he'd pick up boarding.
probably.
And my oldest would think that was so fun because he got on one and it was like second nature to him. My 8-year-old, I guess he'll be 9 years old next week. He also has been, and they're just loving it. And it's got them outside. There's a
Right.
skate park brand new down the street from me. And I don't know how you are. When I was a kid, I love skateboarding, but I lived out in the country and I didn't have any places to ride.
Sure.
And, I was able to go to the skate park a few times here and there as an older teen. But I remember one thing I remembered is as soon as I said to somebody, I don't know what I'm doing. I like skateboarding, but I live far away and I've never been able to do this or that. The community there was like, oh, let me show you. This is what you got to do. And I thought maybe that was just a fluke. But when we go over there, you have these guys who are, older teenagers who seem like they don't really care. You've got some guys who are even older than that. And, they'll ask us, hey, is it okay if we show them this or whatnot? And they're giving courage, trying to teach them how to drop in, all these things. Just, it's been really cool because not that they didn't like being outside, but they also watch a lot of YouTube and Minecraft. And
Yeah. Well,
so it's been really fun.
that's awesome.
I attempted to drop in on a quarter pipe. Did I tell you about this?
I don't think so.
Oh gosh. So I got a board and I've been riding outside on like our sidewalk and stuff, trying to remember everything. Well, I decided to go with my son over there, and was like, oh, we'll drop in. Just me being an old fart, apparently, because I went to drop in, and I can remember doing this as a teenager and thinking I fell a few times. It was fine. I fell so hard, rattled my head inside my helmet, hurt my shoulder, hurt my hip. I
Oh
felt like a grandma walking off of there.
my, wow.
I was like,
So what you're saying is no more of that for you?
I mean, I'll still ride. I'll probably have to work myself back up to that point. I thought, oh, I'll just jump right back in, like riding a bike. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
Andrew, come here. I want you to go fill this up with water, only to about right to here, and then bring it back. Just from yeah, I don't know. My if either one of my kids is going to be interested in something like that, it's definitely going to be my youngest boy. But he just needs the opportunity to somewhere to learn how to do it.
Tanya, I know it's a ways. You ever want to? Right by my house. Got the stuff. Got extra helmets.
Well, I might have to take you up on that.
Oh, well, just let me know. Seriously, we've had a blast. My husband got rollerblades because he used to blade all the time. And he's actually picked it up and been rollerblading again. So that's been kind of cool.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. It's just kind of a fun thing to do outside for the
Yeah,
summer.
yeah.
Patrick says she sounds like if she sings a song, a baby will fall asleep. Are you talking to me? I don't know if that's a negative thing or a positive thing.
I don't either.
I wish that if I sang a song, my baby would fall asleep. So maybe that's a positive thing. I'm going to take it as a positive thing. Mr. D-Man says, don't forget Roblox. Kids like that too. Ugh. Pay to win stuff for kids. Kate says, excuse me, I play Minecraft.
Right? I know. He's like, wait, before you start insulting this thing, remember, there's some of us that play that, Rob. I
There's
know.
nothing wrong with playing it. It's the obsession and the not doing anything else.
And when you're very young, yes, that's the problem.
Or maybe we're the problem, Rob.
That's true. It's very possible that I am the problem. Don't be part of the problem. Be the entire problem, is what people say.
Just like Taylor Swift. Hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me.
Right.
Something like that, she says. I can't remember.
You know you're a Swiftie.
Yeah. I don't have the energy to be a Swiftie, truthfully. I can't keep up. Muhammad wants to know, Mr. Robert, why when I'm not around you draw all these nudes and for me it's the horror day?
Well, to be fair, recent days have been very, very few nude figure drawings. I used to do it all the time. Ask Jessica; she'll confirm that 100% on these lives because, you know.
He also still does it in secret.
Yeah, right. But I'm like, I got to do these pages, and we just happen to have had one come up just recently. Although there is one more coming up. I got to have girl get out of the healing pool, and so that's good. So I'll have to make an announcement on when I draw that page and make sure everyone can come watch.
All the nudies.
So they can place their keyboards at a safe but reachable distance.
Jeez. That's funny.
I'm hilarious. I'm like, yes.
My basement is really cold, and I am.
Oh, I'm Jessica. I'm freezing over here.
Okay. What was that about?
I'm over here like dying of heat, and you're like, oh, it's so cold.
It
I'm,
is. It's freezing my basement. I thought my air conditioner works better down here than it does upstairs.
yeah, it just seems to be the case, usually anyway. I'm just jealous.
I know. You gotta be mean to me because you're
That's
jealous of me,
how I make myself feel better about myself.
clearly.
Clearly, obviously.
My baby did fall asleep. Maybe my voice does put baby to sleep.
Did she crash out?
She is asleep right now.
Uh,
She was like moving her head around trying to figure out who it was who was talking.
like, why do I hear these voices? This is ridiculous. And she's like, ah, hell with it.
I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Yeah.
Seems like everything's up and up.
Right. She's like, I got what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
Ganja Mantis Studio says he's making a graphic novel about a seagull called Sharpshitter, which is actually pretty funny.
Uh, yeah, I was reading that the same time that you started.
Whether that's actually serious or just bullshit, I think it should be serious.
That is hysterical.
I see a comic about a bird called Sharpshitter. I'm like, oh, I can relate to this. Let's see what's inside.
Oh my gosh, he would review it 100%.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Get that bad boy in Rob's hands.
Right. I'm already behind on several reviews that people have sent me books on. I just gotta get on it, and before everyone starts to think I'm a fraud and hate me. Which,
You are, but
yeah, you're like, oh, you are, Rob. Don't worry.
we all know you're a fraud.
I know, but I try to hide the fact from new people.
Oh, I see. Well, that's fair, I suppose.
Ganja Montes Studio says it's 67 pages. He says serious so far. He's like, I'm dead serious. This is real,
Oh my gosh, that is great.
right?
That might be the best name for any comic I've ever heard.
Sharpshooter.
Oh, sharpshooter. I love it. I'm intrigued.
Me too. Uh huh. Uh huh. For what? Um.
The time that you wanted to talk to me about something regarding your comic book.
Then I was driving and couldn't take a call.
Okay, so you do remember. The truth
And
comes.
I know. You're always busy.
Me?
Yes.
You were busy that time. You're like, actually, can I call you tomorrow or something? And then you didn't.
I feel attacked.
Yeah. No words. Just shit. Just a lot of bullshit, Rob.
It is true.
I'm just kidding. Amount of things that I say I'm going to do and then I don't end up doing. Definitely trumps the amount of things that you said you're going to do.
Oh, don't use that terminology.
What terminology?
Trumps.
Oh, sorry. Will that get you
Might trigger somebody.
Oh, sorry.
Not me.
I didn't mean it. I just mean that Rob follows through much more often than I do on his word. Is Chuck still here?
I don't know.
I hope he's not to see the terrible inking job I'm doing.
Even D-Man says it.
What
is Don't say Trump. You're going to trigger the snow. Can't have that.
Okay. I shall not use anything that sound like the word Trump. Like
Bump.
Bump? Bump?
Stump.
Yeah. Gunk? Is that no? That's not them. My 13-year-old asked me if I would homeschool her because she doesn't want to be in middle school anymore.
Oh. So.
And I thought, I don't think so. Not with my track record. Just kidding. I'm literally studying to become an educator. So.
But you got like several other kids you're trying to manhandle and.
Yeah, I don't think her mom would be okay with that, anyways. You know, my kids want to be in school. When I say my kids, my sons want to be in school. So it would be, they're not going to be like, yeah, let's be homeschooled. That's just not going to fly for them, I don't think.
Chad says, "That's it. I'm coming out of the booth." Is that a Toll Booth Willie there, Chad? Because if it is, great reference. One of my favorite comedy albums by Adam Sandler.
Oh boy. The man himself. I went through an Adam Sandler phase not that long ago.
You did?
Not me. I more so my family went through one. Raw.
I like some of his stuff. Some of his stuff, his older shit, is like legitimately funny. But then when he misfires, good lord, does he like big time?
Yeah, for sure. That's kind of how I feel about him too.
All right, Mohammed, thanks for stopping in. If you gotta bounce.
Bye. Thanks for chatting. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about him too.
Yeah.
There's some stuff that's pretty hilarious. Like you said, like when he nails it, he nails it. But then some stuff, not so much.
Yep.
wonder if I can sit down now with her. She'll let me.
Have you been standing?
Yeah.
Oh my lord. You
She
are a
was.
mom through and through.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Just gotta do the mom thing sometimes. No one. Yeah, Chad, I was homeschooled. Um, and I love my mom. I know, she tried, and luckily for me, my parents also made sure that I was in other socially like, what's the word I'm looking for? Group activities and stuff where I got to socialize some, but I will say I homeschooled my kids during COVID for a little bit, and man, that was rough on me.
Yeah.
That was rough. It's rough because even though I'm studying to become a teacher, the plan will be an art teacher. And I feel like a lot of it is when you're homeschool, you have to be the entire teacher. You have to teach them everything. There is nobody else to fall back on to help you. And
Right.
um, that's just tough. It really is such a, like Chad's saying, he said, my sister homeschooled her first three kids, boys, her last two girls, went to school. Was it burn out on, or were the girls harder to handle? Oh, I see what he's saying. I was burnt out, or the girls were harder to handle. Well, I mean, that's cool. They had the support system. We had that a little bit because we had the academies and stuff nearby allowed homeschoolers to be a part of like sports and things like that. So that was nice, but it wasn't as popular during that time to homeschool either. I don't think as it is now. And there weren't a lot of online options and stuff like that. So
Right.
my daughter, my 13-year-old, she's struggling so much right now with her identity and with you know being a teenage girl who's just coming
Yeah.
into puberty in and I think it's difficult in middle school.
Especially in this modern social media climate, it's insanity.
Yeah, I really do. I think it's been real difficult on her. So she's like, "Well, if you decide to homeschool," I'm like, "Yeah,"
Ugh.
because she knows her brother for homeschool for a while.
Is her mom gonna be okay with a homeschooling option?
Oh, I don't think she would be. I'm not really entertaining it, but I thought it was an interesting ask from her.
Uh,
There, I don't think I could handle it. Mm-hmm. Your boys pretty. They like school. Are they excited to go back this fall?
um, my oldest boy has found things that he's a really logically minded kid. He likes sciencey stuff and facts, and he's found a way to enjoy it. My
Yeah.
younger boy who struggles with like attention deficit stuff, he struggles hard sitting still in a controlled environment where you are required to sit down and shut up, which there's a part of like the current school system where it's like these kids, especially, I mean all kids, but not to generalize gender stereotypes, but boys especially need to get out and run around and like have multiple recesses and expend this energy that they've got built up inside them. If you try to take a little kid and force them to sit for 8 hours, it's the worst thing you can do. Like they need to be up and going and moving in stages. Do you know what I mean? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not just built to just sit around and do nothing. He struggles with that part. Now he's been doing a lot better. He struggled a lot when he got first into school, and he does much better now. But it's a it's a battle he has to fight every day, as opposed to you just kind of like, all right, I got this figured out. It's a battle for him every time.
That's interesting. It's interesting how different your kids can be. My oldest is more like Andrew,
Yeah.
in the sense that he will go into parent teacher conferences, and she always goes, he's doing okay. Like, he's doing okay on his studies. He'll have some things that we need to discuss about, you know, his academic scores. And then she goes, and then he's so chatty, and he just really loves being with his friends, and that's all good, except for he really loves to do it when everybody's taking a test,
Yeah.
or and that's just how Mitchell is. Like, he's very social, and so, that's how it is. And then you have Lucas, who his teacher last year said, he's definitely academically gifted. He's very focused. He is grade score driven. Like, he likes to get good grades. It fuels him. And he doesn't like to socialize. He would love it if everybody would just leave him alone and he could just do his work, and then he'd come from school, and then he'd just go play Minecraft.
Wow. So complete opposite.
Complete opposite. He has friends,
Sure.
but he doesn't, when he's in a classroom environment, he just wants to be left alone to do his work.
Yeah, isn't it weird how very, very different children come out of the same genetics of mother and father? They're just so disparate, you know?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Let's see. What is going on here? Why was I in timeout? Jomar de Jesus.
Yomar de Jesus, I put you in timeout because you were saying some nonsense and you wouldn't stop, so I shut you up for 5 minutes. Being for real?
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, you were. Well, you weren't there.
Oh,
I wish I could remember what it was you were saying, but you kept spamming the same silly thing over and over, and it's like I shouldn't have to tell anybody. But it was only for
yeah,
5 minutes.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I got to mention this real quick. Mr. D Man, I noticed that you said you put up a post that you're like, everything else is on hold because you're watching Cobra Kai season 6. And I'm just like, wait, 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 wait. There's something you like? There's there's something you actually enjoy? I I literally about shit myself. So, like, no, you don't understand. This man hates everything. But here's the thing he was into, right? So, and I agree, Cobra Kai is pretty damn good. I'm looking forward to their final season. Wow. And you're not? Yeah, like actually. Were you watching it at the same time it was airing in real time? Did we like it at the same time, or Did I like recommend it to you at all? Or
Uh, actually, my younger brother, Justin, he said, "Hey, did you see they were doing this?" Because we always liked karate growing up. And I said, "Yeah, I didn't know what that was and not much about it." I told him I would watch it. He's pretty busy, and anyway, I said I'll watch it and I'll let you know what I think of it. So I ended up watching it, kind of not really having much high expectations, if you want me to be honest. And it really did exceed my expectations by a lot.
oh, 100%. It's way better than it has any right to be. But you get it, that's one of my points where I can bring up where I'm like, people are like, don't make sequels to classic shit. All they do is fuck it up. And yes, most of the time they do. But if you get people who respect the source material and respect the characters, and then write something interesting and write interesting new characters, you can totally take and continue a franchise that's 3 decades old and have it still be good. And Cobra Kai is a
Mhm.
perfect example. I mean, the fact that they make
Uh,
Johnny the focus of the show is just brilliant.
uh, oh, dude, yes, love him so
The
much.
way that he was like, especially when it started, he's still stuck in the 80s, like he hasn't matured. So he's got no patience for any of this modern day bullshit. It's like,
I
it's
love it.
so great. And
I
it just occurred to me what D-Man's getting at is that the new season has started, and that didn't even occur to me. I thought he was watching the old shit. Like the first half of the new season, I think, is out. So I got something to watch tonight or tomorrow.
I didn't know that either. Mr. D Man, look at you telling us about some television stuff happening.
And he's
Mm,
growing because he likes a thing. We're so proud
I
of him,
know. Really just an evolution here.
right? That's what
Yeah. That show's great. So great. Um
I do what? Sorry, you faded out there for a second.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying I can't watch it as fast as you do. You always just blow me away. Whenever we're watching and talking about it at the same time, you're always ahead of me.
Well, I tend to have a lot more free time than you.
Well, yeah, and that's what I was saying is I can't watch it with my kids, so I have to wait until, and my husband has no interest in it.
Oh yeah.
Although we have found something he has liked watching.
What's that?
It it's a show called Your Honor on Netflix,
Never.
and we're on season 2. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, never
It's
heard
got the main character from Breaking Bad in it, the um guy. I can't remember what his name is right now.
Walter?
Yeah,
Well, that guy's a good actor, so that's always a step in the right direction.
yeah, you should check it out. It's the premise is he's a judge.
And what's it called? Oh, okay. We will see, won't we?
This isn't the worst drawing I've ever done. It's also not the best.
I can kind of see it. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like um the inking isn't great, and it's kind of making it less good because I'm not doing a great job, but it's here. How you feeling about that page?
I think it's coming along all right. I was doing some like atmospheric, like dry brush, like volcanic ash spewing out of the mountain, and then some gray tone ink wash on the backgrounds, and some white splash to make it look kind of moody. Um, I think it's working. Yeah.
Tones, and like you said, you use the like white splatter with the paint. I love it when you do that kind of stuff.
Well, thanks.
Feels like you can reach out and actually touch the textures that you pull out of your art.
Hey, you keep your hands to yourself.
Okay.
I don't normally say that to a woman, but in this case,
Oh wow.
shit. No, I appreciate it. I really do. It's sometimes I'm like, I'm kind of failing what I wanted to do. Here's the thing: my ultimate first goal is to make the straight black and white artwork as good as I can do it with depth and dimension and perspective and all that type of stuff. And sometimes I fail. So I'm like, oh, well, I guess it's time to get out the ink splatter and cover it up and make it look artsy so I can cover up my fuck ups. But
Oh
then
wow.
I kind of learned from that and come up with some textures that I didn't know I could kind of do. And I'm like, oh, I just learned something. I just learned something new. So in theory,
Wow. Could have fooled me because it looks intentional.
it kind of is. But thank you. I appreciate what you're saying, and I do try to vary it up. I like to throw in some pages. I've had some people tell me where I put in some varying kind of art styles, and I've heard people say, "Well, it makes the book look inconsistent." But I actually kind of like the idea of as you're flipping through this book and you run across a couple of pages where it's different than everything else. It's like you can see the artist is experimenting, and I like that personally.
Yeah.
In fact, I need to tell you about this thing because it's another one of these things I was going to run by you, but you know how I am with that. I actually should just call you
I'm just teasing you.
now.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
um, but so I know you've seen the page, but I'm going to show it to you. Gotta find it. So this page here,
Oh yeah.
you've seen this one. I assume you know what it is. It's where they're
I
having
love that page.
it's a silent, unmarked grave funeral for a certain character that
Yes.
having her feelings for. So I have in her hand here this little piece of paper. And so what I'm going to have the text in that panel say, because the entire book is going to be narrated by Trapjaw, and he's going to say we had this, Shira buried his glove in the forest in this specific spot. None of us understand why this spot's special to her, but
Wow,
what?
you just kind of gave it away, but okay.
Um, but then also, um, I was also explaining this on one of my last live streams, so it's not the first time I've mentioned it, but I wanted you to hear it. But
Okay.
Trapjaw's going to say that she recited some kind of like ancient poem or text in a language he didn't understand. Like none of them spoke this language. It's some ancient like manuscript that she read at the funeral that she said it meant something to the guy who died. And so they're all like,
Oh.
"What's up?"
Oh, I just said oh, like
Yeah, it's like a phrase that she knew that meant something to that character. So I'm going to have her give that paper to Trapjaw, and we're going to look at it. And I think I've shown you how I encoded the alphabet one time, so I can write phrases in a way that no one can decipher.
Okay.
So it's going to be in that language. It's not a language, but it's just the alphabet encoded. And I'm going to have Jitsu here be able to decipher it. And what I'm thought about doing is not have anybody say what the actual text on the paper means, except I'll have Jitsu explain to Trapjaw it basically means this. But what I'm going to do in the book at the end, I'm going to put a little key where I'm like, A is this symbol, B
Oh
is
my
this
gosh, this is
symbol.
so genius.
So then people can go back and take 30 seconds and write it down and decipher it. And their song lyrics. It's a specific lyric to a specific song that I was listening to. I'm like, oh, this would be kind of like a cool thing that kind of meant something about this character. And then you either recognize the lyrics or you don't. And then people can Google it and either go, that's the stupidest fucking song I've ever heard in my life, or be like, oh, that was kind of cool, but just like a little bit like a, do you see what I'm saying? Just like a thing to throw in the end.
That I love that so
Do you like that
much.
idea?
Yeah. As soon as I realized what you were coming together there, what you were explaining, that is super neat. Yeah.
All right. You were about to be like, Rob, this is really like overly complicated. I think you should just stop.
No, no. I mean, I was going to say that, but just for funsies,
Like,
just to be.
fuck with you. Yes, definitely. But I
Yeah.
had this idea of her reading this poem kind of thing, and no one knows what she's saying. They just know that it meant something to her, and they're like, oh, that's sad. I wish we knew what she was talking about. But and then if the reader wants to know what it says, there'll be a little key in the back of the book. Then they can go and translate it themselves.
That sounds cool. I like that idea a lot. Good thinking.
All right.
I'm a fan.
All right. Because I did want to run it by you and have you just be like, Rob, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Please take it out before you ruin your book.
Is that what you wanted me to say?
No, I wanted you to say it if that's what you felt.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
I,
don't. I actually think that's hella cool.
I want the honest truth no matter what. I still
Mm.
may do it even if you think it's the stupidest thing, but at least I know that if it fails everywhere, I could be like, you know what? You told me it was a dumb idea and I wasn't listening. So,
No, the thing about it is, I think that's the idea that you don't have to have it fully this page in the story where it goes into detail about it. Like you said, someone will kind of maybe paraphrase, what it meant.
right.
And then but then somebody, if they want to, can take the time out, even if it's not like a lot of time, and kind of have this interactive thing in it.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
That was the idea. Yeah.
I love that.
And then maybe I should put like a word jumble and a crossword puzzle. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Now
Make,
you're doing too much.
make like an activity page in the back of the book. People are like, what the fuck? I'll have a
Gayton says,
connect the
call.
dots.
What'd you say?
I'll do a connect the dots. It'll be some
It'll
new,
just be a naked
right?
sheet.
See, that's exactly right.
Um, Gayton says, calling it now. Secret code equals drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah,
um, Massive Panda says, I like the idea too, Rob. It's kind of interactive, nice, thoughtful touch, and extra layer added to your comic. Yeah, that's what I think too. Um,
thanks, guys. Kevin, Grace is here. Grace. Jessica, I don't know if you've met Grace yet. She showed up several times. She's very friendly, very nice, and very enthusiastic, and I like her. And every time she shows up, I have to make a stupid joke about how she has graced us with her presence. She hasn't yet gotten completely sick of me doing it, so. Right. I mean,
There you go.
that would be kind of a fun, silly thing to actually make. Like a little, if I did like a crowdfunder for this thing somehow, and I'll make like a little activity book based on the nonsense in this book. But it'd be like, how many pieces did Beastman's body get severed into, and all these bloody parts all over the place? Like, it's not for kids.
Well, that can still be awesome. Adults are really just big kids. That's all they are. So they would think that was awesome, I think. You'd get a lot of people interested.
Yeah. Rain, I am not drawing hentai. I do that on my private time. Right? Thanks, D Man. D Man's exercising a little bit of restraint, and we're giving a person a chance to not be a fucking weirdo. Like, believe me, there's plenty of weirdo in gym. We're not drawing Japanese porn. Not tonight, anyway. You're true. That's true. And if you are, I want to know all about it.
It's true. In fact, Japanese porn is the only thing I draw.
You're like,
This looks like a
part
dinosaur,
of a
but when
whole
it's
other.
all said and done,
This dinosaur is going to be part of a whole other thing. You don't know.
yeah, this is just a weird kink. Okay.
There is a reason I friended you a long time ago, you know.
I know.
Like,
Sometimes you struggle to remember what it was,
I
but
do. But then I remember. I'm like, oh yeah, she's weird. This is why.
yes,
Normal people are boring.
that's true. That is true, man. Whew. Nobody wants that.
Panda's like, wait, Rob, you're not drawing hentai? I'm out of here.
Panda's like, what have I been looking at this whole time?
Right.
My precious hentai time has been cut into. That's funny.
Xeno Goku says, us guys don't get older, our toys just get more expensive.
Yep.
That's
fair. Especially the nerdy ones, I feel like.
right.
My husband is wanting to revamp his gaming rig.
Yeah.
How much do you think he thinks he's going to spend on it?
2000.
More than that.
3.
Well, more than that.
4?
Thinks it'll be somewhere between 3 and 4.
Well, you tell him he needs to put his ass out on the street corner and sell his ass to make that money.
He would.
You're like, hell yeah.
He would have no problem with that.
You might say that
He
until
always,
the only clients are like homeless bums coming up, like, hey,
he
son.
always tells me he wishes he would make money on OnlyFans.
Don't think I won't.
Yeah, I'm just like, man, it is tough. It is expensive being a PC gamer.
Yeah.
And really console gaming, but man, I feel like PC gamers just really take the cake. Oh wow, look, I'm just now seeing people guessing. Hey,
Oh,
everybody was actually kind of in the right. I would say Gaten was the closest because he guessed 4,000. But yeah, PC gamers pay for used car prices when upgrading for getting parts. Video cards, he'll be like, the video card alone is gonna cost me, 2,000 of that.
Good
Which is
lord.
crazy. And that's him getting an older version of a game. I mean, he can't even. That's not even getting a newer version. It's just crazy.
Is this happening, or is this just a conversation of would like to do?
It might. It'll probably happen.
Well, then you get to hold
Just
it
it'll
over him
be
and
good.
be like, you know, when I want a special thing that's expensive, you don't get to tell me no if we can find a way to make it work.
Oh, he already knows that.
You're like, believe me, this is not news.
You think this is my first rodeo, Rob?
You're like, I'm not new to this, Rob. I've been married to this man for a while.
PC gaming takes more skill, I guess. I think it's just different. I've done, I've been really big into console gaming, and then I've PC gamed some, nothing crazy, but I usually play Arc. Usually now, if I'm gaming, it's usually I have like a gaming laptop, which I thought, oh, I'll get myself a gaming laptop. Those themselves, $2,400. It's just crazy. It's crazy how expensive it is. But luckily, I end up using it for other things. But yeah, it's interesting. It's just two different types of gamers. That's for sure.
I said for a long
Thank
time
you,
that
Patrick.
I don't do gaming because I one don't want to spend the time and I don't want to spend the money. So I'm like, that's fine,
Now you feel very justified in that.
right? I'm like,
Hearing that. Yeah, I don't know who he would even be. It would be very interesting. He's just always been a big gamer. Most of his friends he does not know in real life.
they're all gaming people. It's
Yeah,
all right.
he talks to people. He's talked to the same group of guys for most of what, probably 7 years now. Um, Two of which he knows in real life. The other four that he talks to every day, two, three or four, he doesn't even know. We ended up when we traveled back home to Indiana, or back to my home, to visit my family. We stopped and met up with a couple that we've gamed with, a PC game that we met online that
Oh
we didn't
yeah,
know in person first.
I think you told me about that. I'm like, that's interesting. But if you talk to a person long enough, you're like, I know this person. I know who they are. Hopefully they don't murder us. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. The first time we met like a White Castle. The second time we met up with them, we did lunch at a different restaurants. So, but
sure.
yeah, it's fun. It's interesting how. But you see that kind of with the Discord that you started too.
Yeah.
You end up talking to people. I don't know some of like even Gayton. I feel like I know Gayton, but I've never met him face to face. Uh, it's interesting.
But we feel kind of like, oh, these are my friends. You know, that's how I feel the same way.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it. Yeah, 100%.
Like I can tell you, oh, that's definitely Gayton's win, or Nathan's, or Mark, or whoever. If it's on like on the Discord, if they upload their art, I just, oh yeah,
Yep.
it's kind of surreal sometimes when you think about it in a good way. Yeah, his meta friends. Goku says his meta friends. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
I'm painting in lightning bolts behind them on the sky here in white.
That's cool. Tossing some body parts over the side there. Have you ever watched Yellowstone?
I've heard of it. I've heard it was good, but no, I have not.
Kind of reminds me of the train station. It's
What
this
does?
place where they dump all the bodies.
Oh,
They call it the train station. They just say like when they're going someplace, going to the train station. That's just where they're dumping all the bodies.
oh, that's funny. All right, well, there you go. Yeah, I had to wrap up the Beast Man storyline because he's been brought back from the afterlife and he's basically unkillable. Like you can't kill him. So Jitsu's dragged his still living headless corpse off to this volcanic crevasse and is just tossing it in there. In theory, never to be seen again.
That's pretty cool, though. He's alive.
Yeah, oh, he is. I'm gonna have him being like gurgle, gurgle, or screaming as he falls. Something.
That's awesome.
So, Panda says, uh, shit, I lost it. He says, "You're fearless with that white paint. Great technique." I mean, I'm just doing white paint over the black. If I screw it up, I can just paint over it or black over it. Go over it again. So It's not really like I'm not really worried because in this place I can't really screw anything up because you can just always redo it.
I would still be worried. I'd be just catatonic. I'd just be, you know how ink makes me.
I do know.
You make it look so easy. And then I'm like, oh, I could do that.
Oh, this is simple.
Remember? Remember who you are, Jessica. You cannot. That's right, I forgot.
Know your role, woman.
I know.
Yeah, okay. But anyway, Bobby was over here and we were doing our video. We recorded like 4 different things, so I'm not sure which one it's on, but we were talking about how um, when she was in school, all her friends were dudes, and she loved all kinds of nerdy shit. And I'm like,
Hmm.
when she's been on my channel, we talk. She talks about how she was like the nerdy girl, like nerdy shit. She liked Star Wars and got made fun of it all the time. And Bobby's like, yeah, that was me too. I'm like, I don't get this. You two are like the dream woman. Like every dude that I know would be like, I want to meet the girl who likes the same shit and is like artsy and creative. Like for like a big niche of dudes, like you and her were like, "Hello, dream woman. Hello, I'm over
But I
here."
didn't feel that way then. Did she say she felt like it didn't feel that way too?
Oh, she felt like she's like, oh, people, not. I don't know if she said that people made fun of her, but it was certainly not the cool thing at the time. You know what I mean? And,
That's what I mean. I feel like it was really hard.
yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I just didn't know enough nerdy guys. I don't know.
Well, she
But
liked to watch like X-Men cartoon and Turtles and He-Man and Voltron and shit. And she said all my friends were guys, and
yeah.
she didn't play with Barbies and shit. Well, she did, but not like she'd play. I'd play with the He-Man figures and everything like that. But it wasn't the cool thing. I'm like, man, you and Jessica were very much alike.
Yeah, I could see that. And the crazy thing about it is you look at Bobby, she's gorgeous. And so it's like, what? Like that is the whole package right there.
Why is this?
But
Look, babe, you're the hot girl too. Like I know you don't believe me, but trust me.
she just doesn't, I think she doesn't, I don't know. It's just crazy to me because you don't I think when you are that person, you can't see that, you know? And again, I felt like most of I got made fun of when I did put myself out there. And so I was like, yeah, not doing that again.
Makes you retreat. Well, she said that she does say in the conversation that she had no self-esteem back then, and so that kind of fucked her
Yeah.
too. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. But it's just weird to be like, God damn, if I would have known you or her back when I was a kid, I still wouldn't have talked to you because I'm too goddamn shy. But I would have been like, that's the perfect woman. If only I had the balls to talk to a woman, I would want to talk to you girls, and then we would have got along great, and shit would have been awesome. But as it turns out, I just didn't talk to anybody ever.
her, and but I got invited, and I remember nobody was talking to me. No guys paid any attention to me, nothing. I was probably 16, and I do remember that I heard a group of boys, probably 4 of them, they were talking about Legos, and I remember they said something about Star Wars Legos, and I said, "Oh," I thought, "I'll just say something. That's something I know something about."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, I got, a, one of the clone carrier Star Wars, uh, sets for Christmas," and they were like, "What? Really?" And they sat down and talked to me about Legos the rest of the time. This and they were nice enough kids. Like, it wasn't anything like crazy. Nothing ever came of it as far as I didn't date any of them or anything.
Sure.
But I thought it was interesting because I didn't pick up at the time, like, hey, there are guys out here who would be interested in you. You're probably looking at the wrong ones. You know?
Yeah. D Man's like, not always a good thing to find a girl that likes the same things. Opposites do attract. Yeah, but D Man, at the same time, I would love to run into a chick that like loves art and does art and likes the same shit. Believe me, I've gone down the route of shit with people who kind of like just begrudgingly accept that the fact that I'm a nerdy ass dumbass dork. Like, can I just once run into somebody who's like into the same shit in a big way? Just it can work.
Yeah, I do think obviously you can have different likes. My husband isn't artsy at all, but he also is pretty supportive of, I mean, he is fully, I guess. I wouldn't say pretty. I should just say he is of my art. He's also a nerd in a different way, so it works.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He gets even though he doesn't always get the things that I'm into, like, I'll make fun of him because I'll be walking down the hallway and he'll make some remark about some spell he's casting from his character on his video game, and I'll just make a joke. I'm like, "You're such a nerd." He'll be like, "Yeah, mm-hmm. Look," I make a joke about how I like Star Wars, or "You're one to talk. You like went on this whole story about Luke Skywalker the other day to the kids." And it just works. It just
Absolutely.
does.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. Like, we all like nerd shit. We all have our own thing. Everybody has like a thing they nerd out and geek out on. And that's fine. And that's, I think it's better. Like, we all have shit that we just go nuts over, you know,
Mhm.
and then you could throw it back in the other person's face when they want to jokingly throw it back at you. So it works. I like that. That's cute.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I get what Mr. D-Man is saying. I do think there's sometimes, and this is just my opinion on marriage at least, you do have to have some cohesive idealism on a lot of things, and I think that sometimes it can fall apart if you don't have some of the same interests because then you don't do things together.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I will say. Like, maybe you don't need to have everything the same, but
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been married that long. It's been 11 years, almost 12. But I will say I have learned one thing, that you do still got to do stuff together.
Well, like that buddy of mine, Isaac Bell, he ran into this girl that he's been with for years, and she's smoking hot, beautiful, but she draws. She likes the not necessarily
Oh yeah.
specifically, but pop culture. She draws stuff that could very much translate into comic book stuff very easily. She colors with them. She writes with them, and they're a team making comic books and making a living at it. And I'm just like, dream life, because
Yeah, I know. I've seen her stuff. Yeah.
yeah, similar interests, similar goals, and they get along together and they like the same thing. I'm like, and she's like smoking hot, beautiful. So I'm like, God damn, like,
Oh yeah, she's super hot. Yeah. That is cool. And that is one thing I will say, like, it is fun to be with somebody who's an artist. Um that can be a good time because then you create together.
Chad saying, shit, nowadays 11 years is record time. That's true. I couldn't make it 11 years in my marriage, unfortunately, but
Okay, I shouldn't have said it like that. I am proud of that. It has obviously not been without its problems,
I,
but
we know you're, you know. No,
I'm
there's
obviously
no
not
such thing as
authority.
no conflict in a relationship. There's always something sometimes, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's working through it and making it continue that is what matters.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. I'm pretty happy and I feel like it's, a process. But
But it always is, it's always a process. And you guys are still trudging along, and I think that's awesome. Especially having been through a divorce, I'm like, God, I'm pulling for anybody to make it. Like, you know,
I know. And I remember you saying something very similar to me. And I just remember thinking, oh, I don't, like I was struggling, having a difficult time. And you said something like very similar, just, whatever you got to do, like do your best to make it work. And I, I really took that to heart. And I agree. I agree.
yeah,
If you can.
yep, make it work. Because again, if a person has to walk away, you don't want to doubt that maybe you didn't do everything you could have done. You'll always doubt yourself, like I didn't try this.
Right. No, that's fair. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Why I hung on for 3 years of hell. Now, I've said before, if I could go back knowing the way things are and we're going to turn out anyway, I would have ended it a long time ago. But that's only with the benefit of like knowing how it was going to go. He's like, well, I shouldn't
Right.
go through all that shit. But if I didn't go through it, I wouldn't have ever known. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the tough part is no one can know the future, unfortunately.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Not that I'm aware of anyway. Someone does. Hit me up.
Hook me up, right? Like I will. What do you need? What can I do? What? Like it's just I'm. You don't want to know what I'm willing to do.
Exactly.
Let's just talk. Let's discover together.
I think I froze up because my phone told me it's about to die.
Oh, I mean, you're still moving and talking on my end.
Oh, it looks like it caught up here. I'm watching our actual stream on here so I
Oh,
could see that it said I had 20% left and so then it froze up, so just checking. But
well, we have been going for 2 hours.
my phone's like, that is your max. I'm liking the way this is turning out okay. Kind of doing some crazy things.
That looks
Wait,
awesome.
wait till Chuck left to use my pens so I didn't get too embarrassed.
He's like, oh God, these microns, these people on these microns. What's wrong with you?
I know. That one time he said that micron brush is the worst thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally using that in the stream right now.
Using this thing, this professional ink. Like, yeah,
How did he know?
you can sense their presence.
He's like, it smelt the evil.
Smell the micron.
Caton says, I know the future. Unfortunately, I can only share the information in the form of a magic 8 ball. So all I can tell you is outlook not so good.
That's fair, and that's a fair assessment of the future.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Chad,
Chad's
sorry, a tattoo artist in my 20s. It only lasted 2 years. The relationship was terrible, but we're still great friends, better friends than married. I've got a couple people I was in a relationship before in the past that we've still maintained, and so that works out.
that's kind of cool. I've never had that happen.
Oh yeah.
There is not a single person that I've dated that I'm still friends with, and except for the one that I'm married to. I'm trying to think if
So
maybe I'm
for what you're
wrong.
saying for your husband, outlook not so good if you guys break up.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be friends. I It's
I'm
not
not
tracking well.
trying. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I never thought I would have been able to stay friends with my ex-wife when our divorce is going on, but now I know that I'm blessed to be able to get along with her, and so
Yeah.
so much, you know, just to stay on.
Brian says there's a company here in Boise, Idaho called Micron. That's awesome. That old Boise, I'll soon
Oh yeah,
visiting with my family. Yeah.
that so far is the closest person to our location, as far as I'm aware of. Besides, like me, you, and
Yeah.
Courtney, who live right here in the same area.
Yeah.
We got friends in
Yeah.
Australia and Canada and Chicago and what, Nebraska or wherever Gaten's at. I can't remember where he said, but
Wow, really calling out his location.
I know he's like, "Hey guys."
Son of a gun, it was a secret.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Speaking of which, he says, Rob, that ink job is spectacular.
Oh, well, thanks, Byron. I appreciate that.
And it is. Agreed.
Go.
Oh, goodness.
Someone could actually read your future, you'd probably want to set a limit on how far you'd want to know. Otherwise, it might be a Pandora's box. And I've actually, 100%, I would not want to know my future, because you only want to know your future if it's awesome. But what if your future is like in 3 years you're dead, and that's all you get to know?
Yeah.
Because then I'm going to spend the rest of my existence like freaking out over how, what, when. I've only got 3 years, and or I honestly would not want to know my future. I wouldn't, unless
Yeah,
someone
same.
up and be like, "Hey, I'll tell you your future because it's awesome." I'm like, "Oh fuck yeah, let's hear it." But it's like, "Hey, you want to know your future? It's a fucking miserable hellhole." I'm like, "Yeah, let's pretend like we didn't have this conversation."
Okay, Gaten's in North Carolina. So you were way off because you said Nebraska.
I don't fucking know. It was an N.
I don't fucking know. Um, yeah, see, but here's my thing. Would knowing your future somehow change it if you knew it? Would you make decisions thinking that you were making the decisions for the future that was awesome
But
and then
then,
somehow screw it up? That's what I think. I think I would screw it up somehow.
I know I would.
Uh, yeah, it's interesting.
I would like to go into the past. I would do that, but
What would you do if you went to the past? Or can I ask that question?
I'd go back and tell myself, "Hey, this girl is actually into. Go push on, and you'll get laid tonight. Trust me." I'm not saying like use it for evil, but like now that I know shit I could have done, because I'm like, I know someone was into me, because I've had girls tell me way after the fact. They're like, "Oh, I was way into you. I would have fucked you if you would have asked." I'm like, "What? Fuck you. How come you didn't tell me?" I'm like, "Oh, you didn't seem interested. You didn't pay attention." It's like, because I'm a shy, stupid idiot.
Well, I'm glad you would be using it for good, not
What's that?
evil. I thought it was going to be like something like really like, there was this thing that happened and I just told and
I know somebody who was in a car crash, and I nope. Yep. That,
Robert do.
oh.
Well, I am probably going to here go get some food.
Hey, Byron says he would love to have a Triceratops skull. Great job on that drawing.
Selling real big. Thank you. At some point, maybe on the next one. How do you feel about yours, Rob?
Well, I got it done. It's as far as I'm going to take it. And I did a lot of gray tones and dry brush and painting, and I think it works.
That's awesome. Damn, that's awesome. I like it.
Thanks, babe.
You did a really good job with the perspective on that bottom one.
Does it feel like an appropriately low angle looking up?
Yeah, I really like that. You did a great job on that, I think.
Well, thanks.
But yeah, good work.
Appreciate it.
10 out of 10 would recommend.
You're my favorite.
Yeah, you're saying that, but I'm
All right.
just teasing
You are not my favorite. I can't stand you.
Hanging out and chit chatting.
Yeah, I'm going to log off.
What'd you say?
I'm going to log off too. Yeah. Thanks, Jess. See you later. Well, thanks everybody for joining up. As always, I appreciate it. It's nice to get Jessica back on here again. We used to do it pretty regularly, but her schedule and timings haven't been lining up very often recently. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to take off, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it very much. See you probably tomorrow, Saturday, maybe Sunday.